Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the state capitol in downtown Lansing. When the state hires contractors to build its roads and schools, how much should it have to pay? Our topic today is the prevailing wage. Joining us now to talk about it is State Senator Arlan Meekhof, a Republican from the 30th District, which represents Ottawa County. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we discuss sort of whether it's right or wrong or needs to be tweaked, what exactly is the prevailing wage? I've heard of it, but couldn't tell you what it is.
Certainly. Well, it's a means by which the state pays, either through local bonds or through school construction, the capacity to have those workers paid on state projects where state money is involved, taxpayer money. They must pay with prevailing wage, which is typically about 10% higher than the average going wage.
So a school district passes a bond. They say they're going to build a new high school. That money obviously is taxpayer dollars that then goes towards that project, and then the district can't just hire any contractor that they want that comes in with the lowest quality bid?
That's correct. It is required to use it with state taxpayer money that they pay prevailing wage. An example would be a high school in my district went out and asked for a $60 million bond, and out of that about $6 million, or about 10%, was the actual cost of prevailing wage. Now, if you multiply that by about 6% over a 30-year mortgage, which is about what it comes out to be, it's somewhere between $12.5 and $13 million additional cost when you pay the interest over that 30 years. And that comes out of local taxpayer money. It doesn't come from money that went to Lansing and came back. That is taxpayer money from that district.
Doesn't sound like we're getting real good bang for our buck.
Well, many would question if a contractor can come forward and give the lowest quality bid, wouldn't the taxpayers get a better deal if they could get the same building constructed for 10% less?
Absolutely, and if I'm making my decision on my own home and there are those, not those restrictions, you're going to do just that, take the lowest quality bid. So you've recently introduced a bill that would do what?
The bill simply says that you do not have to pay prevailing wage on those construction projects, either schools, highways, or other places where state money is involved. If federal money is involved, the Davis-Bacon Act would still apply, and there's a prevailing wage that goes with that. Interestingly enough, Michigan's prevailing wage is higher than the federal Davis-Bacon law.
Well, so is our minimum wage as well, higher than the federal minimum wage. We're very much about protecting our workers. So will we see a lot of, if something like this were to pass, a lot of resistance from certainly workers here in the state of Michigan saying this isn't fair?
Well, there certainly has been some resistance already. I've received some information in the district and a mailing that folks have said they seem to say it's unfair. I simply would say the taxpayer is the one who's paying the bill here. Let's let the taxpayer know about these things so that they can contact me directly at my office and say, you're right, Senator Meekhof, this is an opportunity for Michigan taxpayers to save money and not get gouged. And that's many of the calls we've been fielding from people have said, why is this fair? Because it's really not fair. We're paying more for something we shouldn't have to.
How does Michigan compare to other states? Do other states have similar prevailing wage laws?
There are some states that have it. There's not very many. I think there's only a handful left that actually require prevailing wage.
So fairly unique to the state of Michigan.
Fairly unique.
And you're calling this the labor freedom?
Labor freedom is what we are terming it, because we believe that there's many folks out there that really would like to have a job here in Michigan. There aren't many construction projects going on right now in the areas. So the ability to work for any wage, I think, is important, and specifically benefiting the taxpayers and saving them money.
And wouldn't this open it up to perhaps other construction companies, contractors out there who have not been able to bid on projects of large magnitude like this in the past, and they'll be able to put their workers to work?
That's correct. As long as they can meet the bond construction standards and all of those things, they should be able to bid on all of the work to help save the taxpayers money.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was State Senator Arlan Meekhof, a Republican from the 30th District.